Welcome to Bedrock Meetup. This is our second installment of Bedrock Meetup. We appreciate you. BedrockArt.com is a foundation for local artists to come as a community in Tampa Bay. My name is Mark Anthony, R Little. Love to say the R, sorry, you have to separate that. That's an edit. Thank you for coming to our meetup today, everybody. We have a great thing talking about how to help you in the business side of being an artist, making sure that you have your client list and stuff like that, and our guest speaker today will go more into that. We have a couple announcements today in regards to Bedrock. We're giving away a $100 gift certificate to Bleak Art Supplies. For anybody signing up. October 25th is our cutoff date, so we will announce the winner at that time. Bedrock also is having some shows that we're developing coming up, but without further ado, I want to get into our segment today. So I'm going to introduce all the founders of Bedrock who are making this possible and possible for your community. So the next person I want to roll to is Zoltan. Zoltan is number 2 in the community, and I'm going to let him explain to you what he is and how he fits into this.
And I'm Zoltan. I'm from Bedrock Art community, and I don't like to talk in front of the camera, but I need to let this out. So I like to connect artists with the right people to grow something in the community and bring this together. That's how we start this whole thing. And I'm introduce the other Bedrock community, Jared.
Woo! Zoltan!
Hi everyone, my name is Jared Brown. I'm another one of the co-founders of Bedrock Art. I'm a cinematographer, editor, overall video guy. I work at USF, and really just here to obviously get this thing off the ground and try and get as much content out there as possible, when possible, when I can do it. I'll lead that up to our featured speaker today and other co-founder, Kyle Sasser.
Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser. Oh, thank you for the applause. Kyle Sasser, Keller Williams, also hosts of Great Things Tampa Bay, one of the founders of Bedrock. Today I'll be talking about how to manage your client database and build a relationship with your client and leverage that into more sales. But yeah, we do have another person here today. Please come up and introduce yourself.
There we go.
Hi, my name is Kamari Ross. I am the visitor today, new to Bedrock, ready to learn more about the artist community in Tampa and how to possibly start my own business. I'm ready to learn from these great gentlemen here.
Thank you. Thank you. MC.
Sorry. This is our second installment, our third installment. If you missed our last installment, we'll put that video up. It was me explaining how to do acrylic glaze. Tonight's installment we'll do, and that will be up a couple weeks after that. Our next one will be doing live art. I'm a live art artist around the community. I do certain events, so I will be discussing how to go out in the community, do live art, what the process of that, to make sure that you're not dripping paint everywhere, make sure you have the things that you need when you're doing live art. So look for that next meetup, which will be next month on November the second Monday of the month. We will let you know that as well. And without further ado, Kyle Sasser, I believe, will help you get into the business of doing art. The one thing I think that artists don't achieve is to understand the business side of painting, and so he is taking the point to where he can help you help with that in a certain way. But all these videos are for that type of situations to help the artist grow, progress, and get better. Bedrock Art.
Great job, MA. Am I on the mark here?
Yes.
I'm gonna earn it. All right. So you have a business. there's 3 ways to make more money with that business. You can either find more customers, you can sell items for more money, or you can sell your existing customers more items. Today we're going to be talking about how to sell more and how to leverage your existing customers into more sales. So the other stuff is not the topic of this. All right. So everyone has basically 3 levels of people that you know. You have friends and family. Those are the people that are in your corner. You can call them up today and be like, Grandma, listen, I'm selling knives. She'll be like, oh, please come over and tell me all about it. Those are the people that are the easiest sales. Those are the people that you know that they like you, they love you, they want to do business with you, they want to buy from you. The other type of customer you have is your existing customers. Those are people you already have some sort of relationship with. They've already bought something from you. It's not too difficult to convince them to buy more from you because they already know you. It's like 8 times easier to sell something to someone that you've already done business with versus convincing someone cold off the street to give you money. That is very different. And then finally, the last level is acquaintances, which are people who know of you, but they've never bought anything from you. And then one level past that is people who don't even know who the hell you are, which is, if you're any small business, is one of the main difficulties. If no one knows who you are, they're never going to buy anything from you. So the goal as a business owner is to move through these different levels, to move them from they don't know who I am to they know who I am, but they never bought anything from me, to they bought something from me. And if you're really lucky, you'll get a few people who will go from customers up into that friends and family. I have one, his name's Michael Salami and Nicole Dunn. They're current clients of mine, they're awesome. Shout out if you're watching this. But yeah, they reached out to me for Great Things Tampa Bay. I'm selling them a house right now. We're going to dinner later this week. Like, they're awesome. And it's very, very rewarding. So how do we take an acquaintance? Because this isn't marketing. Marketing is where you move someone from these people don't know who I am to the they know who I am and what I do. That's what marketing does. What we're talking about is a sales process, which is where you move people from the acquaintance section to a customer section where they've actually bought something from you. Okay, so let's kind of kill the elephant in the room. Instagram followers are not friends. They are acquaintances. You've never talked to them. They don't really know they don't know where you live. They kind of know what you sell, but they're not friends and family. They're really not that eager to buy anything from you. It's a very low cost of entry to become someone's friend on Instagram. So they're way down. I would put them even sub-acquaintance, to be honest. Let's see what's next. So the main key difference between an Instagram follower, a Facebook friend, or a like, to move them into a customer, the main thing that you need is not to be friends with them on social media. You need their contact information. So you need their phone number. You need their email address. If you can get their home address, that's awesome because no one does direct mail anymore. If you send a postcard to somebody's house, they will take notice because most people, you get junk mail, but people take notice of what arrives in their mailbox. And I'm going to touch on one magic trick that I use in the real estate business later on. So, how do you get an acquaintance's info to try to move them up into the customer section? So the way I do it is you always have to give something to get something. If you just come at somebody and you're just like, hey, give me your information, they're going to tell you to, piss off, basically. So you have to offer them something in return. So like whenever I do open houses, they're coming in to see the house. I'll have a sign-in sheet, which we also have here at Bedrock. And when they come in, I tell them, hey, small price of admission. To view the house, all you have to do is leave your name and phone number here. 9 times out of 10, they will leave their entire first name, last name, phone number, email address. With Bedrock, we have our sign-in sheet. Everyone that comes in here, I'm getting you as you leave. Everyone that comes in, they sign in. Whenever we do a live art event, that sign-in sheet is there so people can leave their name, number, email address, so we can keep in contact with them and try to move them along this process to convert them into a sale. It's not devious. We're offering something of value. We're offering artwork that these people are taking interest in. The people that come to these meetings want to learn about art, how to sell art, how to make art. The people that see it at shows, they want to buy art, or they have some interest in art. So by them giving us their information, we're keeping that dialogue going with them. And I'll get to how not to overload their email with sales stuff later. But yeah, so sign-in sheets are great if you're doing an event out. If you're talking with somebody and they're interested in what you're doing, just be like, hey, I happen to do that. Let me have your phone number, let me have your email address. I'll be happy to let you know, like when I have a special, when I'm doing something, you know, that might be of interest to you. And then also you can just directly ask. So a lot of times I will get questions on real estate just out and about, and I'll just be like, listen, give me your email address. I will respond to you with a very lengthy, everybody knows here knows that I like to type. I write very long text messages and all that. But I will, yeah, I will just directly ask, be like, give me your phone number. Because everyone is usually very passive. Like, they're not going to come to you and just be like, oh, here's my phone number and credit card. I would love to buy what you're selling. Like, you have to help move them along this process. And that's all sales is. It's basically moving them along this process, showing them the next step. So what do you do with this information that you get? So there is there's a type of software out there. It's called a CRM, Customer Relationship Management. The one I use is VTiger. I've used it for 13 years, and it allows me to automate most of my sales process. So I meet somebody out. Let's just say Kamari, because you're the guinea pig tonight. So Kamari comes up to me. He's like, hey, I'm interested in buying some artwork. So I'm like, okay, drop him into the Bedrock CRM system. I put his first name, last name, phone number, email address, where I met him, which we met on Reddit. And then
Yeah, we did.
Yep, and then we had an email back and forth, and I remember this stuff. We met on Reddit, we had an email back and forth. We originally met at the podcasters meeting.
Yeah.
And yeah, now you're here. So I put that in the system so that I am reminded whenever I go to contact you. The system, because you are going to be a new entry into the Bedrock system, you're going to get automated emails letting you know, hey, thanks for attending the meeting. The next email is going to be, hey, these are the upcoming events we have. You're going to get our monthly newsletter. You're going to receive like calls for volunteers where we do live events. The particular system that we use will also send like SMS text messages. I can see when you open that email, and if I want to be really creepy, I could call you right then. Just be like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Yeah, it's crazy powerful. But if you, even people that know, like I know that all that's possible with software, I still get a kick whenever somebody calls me after I've opened an email, because I think they're thinking about me, even though I know that it's just a computer saying, hey, this guy just opened this email. So, so the issue is that a customer relationship management software is only as valuable as the amount that you use it. So if I don't put Kamari's information into that CRM system, if I don't have an automated responder set up to send him those automated emails, because even though they're automated, to him, that's all new to him. To the customer, like all they know is that you're reaching out to them and explaining, hey, this is what we do, like welcome, like it's hard to express like how much that means to people, even if it's email, which is very impersonal. Which is good and bad, because it's good because I don't have to do it. Like I don't have to, automatically write an email every time. But you still build that relationship basically with little effort on your part. So how much email and interaction should you have? So, sorry, I gotta.
Parched.
Gotta pull up.
Is this good? Is this
Edit,
is this
edit.
interesting, y'all?
Yeah, no.
All right.
Just next one on. Go.
And this is good for any business. So specifically today we're covering artwork, but this works for limousine businesses. This works for video and photography businesses. This works for hair salons, works for real estate. All of this stuff works, it works for any business because every business is a very personal thing. So, whenever you make an initial contact with somebody, there's a process called saturate and then maintain. So, Kamari, I'm sorry. You're the singling you out. So, my goal with Kamari is to send him 8 emails over 8 weeks, at least one a week, sometimes 2. And then after that point, it stretches out to once every 2 weeks or once a month contact. Because most sales happen after the 12th contact. It is very rare for you to start a sales process for anything. I don't care what it is. For a potential client to come in and just be like, I need your services right now. Here's my credit card. But you usually have to build some sort of back and forth with them. Somebody here? Hello? Sorry, we have a late edition. We're recording and having an art meeting, so. No, you're good. Welcome.
Move over there.
Yeah, so most sales happen after the 12th contact. So those first 8 emails are basically introducing myself, explaining the types of products that I offer, and for best results, you actually have to ask the client what their needs are. Like, because if you make it all about you, everyone's going to shut down. Like, everyone has some person that they know where all they do is talk about themselves, just like Jesus. Like, I'm tired of hearing this. All right. Tip number 2, avoid canned responses. So automated emails are great to build that initial relationship. However, whenever someone reaches out to you with a question or something like that, do not use just a canned response. You have to make it personal. Preferably and perfectly, if you can remember something specific about the conversation you had with them earlier, or something, tie it into, like, if they have kids, something with their kids, if they like horses, tie it into their horses, some sort of personal interest. Tie it back in, and to the client, that makes them feel like you've been paying attention to them. It's it's not really subtle, it's very, it's very powerful. All right, so we were talking about mailing addresses. Why would you need a mailing address? So my secret weapon in the real estate business, and Mark Anthony, I don't know if you do this. If you don't, you should. Handwritten notes will blow the competition out of the water. I don't care what industry you're in. If you have someone's home mailing address, just handwrite them a note. Hey, thanks for coming into the salon today. You know, it's a pleasure. Glad to hear the family's doing well. Signed. Put that in the mail. Whenever it shows up there, they are probably not going to call you and, you know, effervescently thank you for sending them some mail, but it will stick in their mind that you are the person, because no one gets personal mail like that anymore with a handwritten note. So when it shows up and it's there and it's pertinent to something that has happened between you and them, it's good. It's good stuff. Let's see what's next. Once you have the information of the emails, the phones, and all that stuff, and you've done business with someone, do not be afraid of asking for a referral. That is, most businesses don't like to call people up. Well, A, they don't like calling people up, but B, they definitely don't like calling up and asking for referrals. When you call up and ask for a referral, it gives you a few different opportunities there. The people that you're calling you've done business with, they might need something else right then, and you're jarring their memory, being like, hey, you know, I'm glad you called. I was just thinking maybe I need a new I need a new piece for the office, or whatever. I need, I've been thinking about putting something over the toilet, whatever. And by asking for, sorry, it's my personal. I love over toilets.
Walk in the toilet.
The other thing is, by directly asking them for a referral, you're planning in your mind anytime that they hear about artwork, you're popping up first in their mind. Now, obviously, people, Mona Lisa, Banksy, and all that stuff. But then they start thinking more local, like more homegrown artists. You want to pop up first in that, and by asking for a direct referral from somebody who has already bought from you, that's planning you first and foremost in their mind. All right. So what other sort of client relationship building things can we do? One thing I do a lot is direct video, which is kind of the big fad nowadays. We have direct live video going over here. Don't worry, you're not on it. The good thing about live video currently is that you pop up at the top of feeds on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. There's ways to automate this. This is technically a delayed. We're recording this on October 8th. I'm probably going to release this a day or two from now, but it's still going to show up as live and at the top of everyone's feed. Sorry about that. But what you want to do whenever you're doing a live video is you want to be honest. You don't want to, like the big cars, big money. That only works in like rap videos. What most people want to see from live videos is people being honest and relaying their issues and solutions and just honestly what's going on in their life. So currently I'm up here giving a talk. I'm not sure if I'm doing well or not. Look for some positive affirmation, baby. Yeah, so do share your goals, share your dreams, share what you're trying to do. I'm up here trying to share the knowledge that I've gained through real estate and other businesses that I've owned. All these little tips and tricks with people. The one thing you don't want to do is let drama out there. So, if there's any, what drama is, keep it out of the live feed. Number 2, always follow through on promises. If you say that you're going to send somebody an email in 3 hours, send them an email in 3 hours. If you're going to call somebody, give them a call. If you're going to show up somewhere, show up somewhere. And it's not that it's inconsequential, it's not that 5 minutes means all the difference in the world, but whenever you say that you're going to do something and then you execute it, so like if you say like, hey, I'm going to take this painting and I'm going to drop it off at your office at 8 o'clock on Thursday, when you do that, you're basically showing your commitment to the client and that you're capable of completing what you say. So then whenever you say the next thing, they're going to be like, well, the guy dropped the painting off, so he could probably do all this other stuff too. So it's good. And we're going to have questions afterwards. Okay. And finally, whenever you call and ask for referrals, do ask how you did. So obviously I'm not an artist, I'm a realtor and computer guy. But I know with those clients, I call them up and I'm like, listen, I know this is kind of a difficult conversation, but I just have to ask because I want to make sure that I'm doing a great job. How did I do? Is there anything that you wish that I would have done better? What are you happy with? That does a few things. It opens up an honest conversation with the client. Now, they're not going to tell you sucked your face, that people were just not wired that way. But you do get some feedback a lot of times that you can improve. And then it also opens the door to testimonials, which is a very powerful way to prove yourself to future clients. Because the best way to know that something is good is if someone else tells you that it's good, instead of just going in cold. So, like Mark Anthony, if you have testimonials from previous clients for like, oh my God, it's like the guy showed up, his artwork was awesome, he dropped it off, it was, he even hung it. I don't know if you do that. I refer that. But yeah, like having social proof from another potential client is the strongest way to make more sales. And that's really what this is all about. And finally, if they do give you something negative, if they do give you some negative feedback, just know that negative feedback and negative comments, either in person, which is tough to take, I will admit, or over social media, it's not necessarily a personal attack. What it does do is it gives you a chance to either prove or improve. So it gives you a chance to improve if it is something you actually did not execute correctly, or it gives you a chance to prove your ethics and ability to either make it right or to set the the reasons why that failure happened or something like that, and that you should probably make improvements there in the future. Basically, that's it. The main thing with building a client is you have to keep in contact with them. Think of the client, and again, keep in contact with them. Like I say it twice because it's so important. If a client, it's very rare for a client to reach out to you. You have to make the first step.
So as an artist trying to go from somebody seeing your artwork or just somebody wanting your artwork to be seen, you're at home, an artist, business-wise. My takeaways from this were, so I did tip 1, database. So at the end of the day, database is very important for you. So artists tend to not collect their information. So where I see where Kyle is doing is take your information. Anytime you sell a piece of art, anytime you're conversing about your piece of art, anytime you're having anything that if you're doing a show, once people come in, you're gonna get that data. So that data includes an address, a name, number, anything to facilitate the relationship, which is down the line in tip 3 or 4.
Yes.
But that
Bare minimum, first name, last name, email address, at bare minimum.
bare minimum.
And most people will part with that relatively easy. They probably won't give you their primary email, but
Okay.
they will give you some email that you can reach out to them. Because really, like, if you're doing a live art show, how many people do you have around you when you're doing live art?
It depends. It depends on the atmosphere, but I do tend to reach through people either through social media, texting, not really email as of yet, but that's why I think this is very informative because
I'm going to put you on
need
the
to
spot
put
here.
that- Okay, go
So
ahead.
let's say you have 13 people behind you,
Yes.
right, watching you. You
Yeah.
know they're all interested in what you're doing.
Gotcha.
How are you going to follow up with them afterwards to let them know that, hey, the artwork's complete? Maybe one of them want to buy that piece.
Okay, so see, there's where you can grow. So this is where data collecting, having, if you're doing an event, you're out there. So in the future, my next live art show, I'm gonna have a data collecting system to implement. So that way, anybody who's back there, I have a sheet where they can give me their information. So the next time I do a live art, I can make my 13, go to 26, go to 42, and go from there. I become more popular. Hashtag game. Tip two.
I like
tip
it. Keep it
two.
up. Keep it up.
Tip 2, or tip under the whole data thing. The 12 hits that he did. The statistic about 12 hits. Somebody, knocking on your door. You're not a magazine seller. You're an art seller. So understand that the automation system was what, Tiger?
V-Tiger, yeah.
V-Tiger. We'll make sure that's in our information so that you can look at that. But that's an automation type of system that you can do for your data collecting because we rather paint, we rather live everything else to automation. Tip number 3 I took away from this was referral. Referrals are super huge. Yes, I have another business other side other than doing my art. Referral is huge. Referral is by far probably to me in my existence of having a business has been the best ever thing.
Yeah.
So just make sure that there's a couple of situations where you talked about, make sure you follow through, do what you say you're gonna do. drop that art off when you gotta drop it off. Make sure you have that time limit. If you are super busy, do it 3 weeks out. I'll ship it out next week. It'll be to you. Send them a tracking. Those things. Make sure you are up on it, so that way when they refer you to Susie, to the parents, to whoever, they're making that happen.
I'm sorry, do you still manually send out your tracking?
Yes.
Okay, so
That may be another.
that can completely be automated.
Okay, because people automated. That might be another segment for another day. But system and software can help you in your deal. Client relationship, building is a super thing. I don't know. He's in a different. He's in a different aspect as far as going to. He does homes and stuff like that, and so forth. Artwork, unless you're doing 10, 20 Banksy, millions, stuff like that. Yeah, you might go to a dinner. However, a cool note. He did make sure that sending a handwritten note. If you send a handwritten note, you can go to any of these like multiple things to have your artwork put on a card.
Yeah.
And then you can send them a Vistaprint. If you want to go to the lowest denominator, Vistaprint, put your your stuff on there, send it out. Thank you for buying my art. This is my next art show.
Seriously,
Boom.
if you're only going to do one thing, send handwritten notes. I cannot stress. I have gotten 4 home listings solely because I sent people a handwritten note. It's like, hey, I know we talked a few weeks ago. Are you still thinking about selling? ? Put it in the mail with a business card. They call me right up. Like, hey, I have been. Thanks for sending me the note. You just reminded me. And like you, because a lot of your sales come from
Internet and referral.
Yeah.
So right now, ultimately, I have a transportation business that subsidized my art to be doing this. If I do a great homecoming, the next mom is going to refer me to the next mom. The next dad's going to refer me to the next dad. So at the end of the day, referrals and doing something great and being on time and reliable ultimately translates. So that's why I'm saying the relationship and being on time and saying what you're going to do will make sure that you translate art. Your next piece may be the $5,000 piece that you were looking for because that was the homeowner that was referred to you. So
or
just
they
make
may
sure.
know someone.
Or may know somebody who wants that next
Exactly.
big piece or mural or so forth and so on. Relationship building, live feed, keep your word, let's see, handwritten notes. I personally think we covered a lot. I do appreciate doing this for us.
Did anybody have any questions?
Anybody else have any questions out there?
So
Late
much
ones?
stuff. Where do you begin?
Where would you begin? Where would you begin?
Throw it at me. Handwritten notes. That's not
Data. I would start with your data because that is going to be a foundation for you. Because now you know me, you know Zoltan, you know Kyle.
Think of
you
how
know-
many people through the years are like, I met that guy and he does that thing, but I don't know his name. I forget his phone number. Even if you do a spreadsheet, which is like first name, last name, phone number, or email, is going to put you way ahead of the game because you can always reach out to all those people. Just be like, listen, I don't, and just be honest. You feel like, listen, I don't remember who I talked to. I know I talked to all of you, but which one of you does this thing? Someone's going to raise their hand and be like, hey. So you have to keep track of all that stuff. Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning your wheels and not,
and getting lost. And I see what he's saying because as an artist and having other obligations in life, like you have to have, this is a business at the end of the day. Yes, we can paint, we can love life, we can be out there, we're muralists, but you have to, if it's a business, it's a business. Starving artists is a thing that everybody since I've been born and doing art, that people keep the same. It's no longer a saying that you really can do. It's a business, and you got to understand that it's a business. And if you want to get to the place where you want to have a great studio, a great gallery show, it's a business at the end of the day. It's buying and selling, and you're trading, and you're developing, and you want clients to be able to. You want auction houses. You want people to say, hey, I like this guy. I like MA. I want MA art in my place. I currently have a mural inside of the Port of Tampa Royal Caribbean Cruise Port. That was because of the relationships I built over the time that I've been here since 2004. So at the end of the day, that is going to be the biggest takeaway.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, nothing I said was like, you know, present yourself in a way that is not true to yourself. It's mainly just, all contact relationship management is a way to remember everyone that you run into. So all the way from people who love you, your family, all the way to people who you met out one time that, you know, he sent you a message on Reddit and you followed up with him on some emails, and then you invited him to a podcasters meeting, and now he's at an art meeting.
Make everybody your biggest fan. That's how I look at it. If you have trouble with that, I always look at people who are top 10. That's my suggestion personally. With that, we're going to close. But announcements real quick. Again, we're having a Blick giveaway for $100 for art stuff. The 25th. The 25th of October, we'll give that name out. Sign up on Bedrock.com. We're also starting to put other art on there as well, where artists can upload their stuff. But at the end of the day, my name is M.A., Kyle, Jared, and Zoltan. Bedrock.com or Dash.com, Instagram, Bedrock Art, Bedrock Art, we're coming.
We'll put the links in the video.
We'll put the links in the video, sorry, second video. The next meetup will be second Monday of November. We're going to be doing a live art demonstration. I do a lot of live art, but I'm going to let you know November 12th will be that day. We'll get that up to you. If weather permitting, it will be outside somewhere, a location maybe in downtown, but the address here will always be the backup for that. But until next time, keep painting.